Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chuck's Potpourri, the podcast with a dash of everything and a splash of nothing. Been a little while since we had the show. I put a video up, had a bout with COVID. That drained me for a couple weeks. But we're getting back on the horse and gonna give you some more quality content. So for this week's episode, we want to bring out all the Marvel fans. And I know there's a lot of you out there. So this episode's for y'all. So this time, we'll go ahead and introduce our guests for this podcast. He's been on the show before, the ghost hunting episode that got rave reviews. My brother Andrew is back on.
Hey.
Yeah, so there's no ghost hunting in this one, so we can't stray off topic too much. So we also got a good buddy of ours, Josh Von Steers, in the house. Josh,
Hey.
you want to tell the people anything about you and your life and what you got going on?
I've known you two like 20 years. I live right outside Omaha. I have 4 cats. They do the shit out of me. Playing a lot of disc golf.
There we go.
That's about it.
Disc golf. That's one of the next podcast topics is disc golf. So, yeah, Andrew, do you want to add anything? I mean, everyone knows who you are. You're the ghost hunter extraordinaire, but you're also a big Marvel fan. So,
I am. I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's get this show started. Y'all know I like to start out with the quick bits, which are the sports and tech news that I deemed worthy for this past week. Kansas City Chiefs fans, the NFL draft has been in Kansas City. Looks like it's been a great turnout. A lot of people showed up. That's fantastic. The Chiefs themselves, with their first-round draft pick, got the K-State defensive end, Felix. I'm not even going to try to say his last name, but I think it's a pretty good pickup. What do you guys think on that? You guys have been both K-State fans, so what do you guys think about that one?
It's a pretty solid pickup. Like, it's tough to narrow down like one specific need right now. I mean, we had a lot of rookies last year, so I mean, we do fairly well with them. So I have high hopes.
Yeah, Josh, anything to add?
We drafted a lot of defensive linemen. I think I was just running through all the picks again. But like King Felix is from Kansas City. The draft's in Kansas City. He played at K-State. Like, I'm not big on like storylines for drafting players, but like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I get the hometown kid. So Chiefs also picked up wide receiver, offensive tackle, and some defensive players. So yeah, excuse me. I think it's got a decent draft overall for him. So we'll see how they pan out.
Good point. Jackson Mahomes is back, so we'll make do.
Yeah. Shifting from K-State to KU on the basketball side, KU's picking up a couple transfers. I think it's Arterio Morris from Texas, former 5-star prospect. Had some legal issues, but I don't know. We'll see how he plays out. I think he only averaged 4 or 5 points last year at Texas, but maybe him coming on board, get that rejuvenation going, and hopefully he'll be a good pickup for the Jayhawks.
Agreed. A change of scenery would be good for him.
Yeah. So, and they also got was it Nicholas Timberlake from Towson University? So looked like a pretty good scorer. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so for the sports part of it, that's what we got. Excuse me. Shifting to the tech side, there's been a lot of talk. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, about ChatGPT and AI. and there's so much invested in this right now. There's a lot of deep fakes out there. You know, they can take one picture of you and then almost like Photoshop you into different elements, and they're all very convincing. They look like you, but they're AI made. So it's
This
pretty
whole
crazy.
podcast is actually a deep fake.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy over there on that side. A lot of people worried about AI taking over their jobs and stuff like that. I get it. It's something to watch for. Especially ChatGPT is doing a lot of coding right now. So you ask it some coding questions, you can, get whatever you need from it. So pretty crazy, but we'll see how that pans out. Yeah, for the tech space, that's all I got. So we're going to shift into the Marvel topics. So topic number 1, and whoever wants to start first can go, but what is your favorite Marvel movie? And it doesn't have to be necessarily MCU. We can go the other side, the Sony side or whatnot. Or TV series has been your favorite so far? Andrew, do you want to start us out then?
Sure. Like the movies are probably the place to go, as far as being like the overall best product. It's tough to narrow down just one or two. I think The Winter Soldier was probably easily my top three, where it balances with everybody else. But overall, it was really good. Characters were awesome. Development, where the story went, it was really awesome. I mean, I think Endgame's up there, obviously. Top three, top five. Um, my personal favorites, I was always a fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, one or two,
Mhm.
but those are my top three that I personally like.
Nice. Josh, how about you? What's been some of your favorites so far?
Yeah, so the first Ant-Man movie is up there for me. Unconventional dark horse, but like it's a classic heist movie with like just like the MCU thrown in. I was
Mhm.
really a big fan of that. The first Black Panther movie, like game changing for me. Like
Yeah.
it's like a whole nother world just like got unlocked, and I got like super into the comics after that movie came out. It like made me do a deep dive. I was paying for Marvel Unlimited back then, and like I spent like a month solid reading like tons of Black Panther runs.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so for me, it is tough because I like a lot of those movies and shows. So some of the TV series have been my top ones. I really enjoyed the Loki series, was really good. Um, and the Moon Knight series I thought that's probably my favorite TV series so far. Um, it was really good. The movie, um, yeah, I mean either Infinity War or Endgame. Those are the culmination of the first couple phases. So those always rank pretty high with me. But there's a lot of good stuff from Marvel. I mean, they put out, a lot of good stuff. Um, but yeah, so with that, let's go into topic number 2 here. What is a Marvel comic series or character in general that you would love to see brought to life in either a movie or a TV series or a previous series, not necessarily MCU, that you'd want to see rebooted? Josh, we'll start with you on this one.
Ooh, this is a tough one. There's so many good heroes out there, right? I really want the X-Men to come to the MCU. Like the last couple cracks that Fox had with it weren't good. Like the whole series has been very hit and miss. Like when Fox had full control of it. I want to see like don't get me wrong, like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, like top notch, but like the rest of the supporting cast has always been kind of meh for me. So
Mhm.
I want to see It's probably phase 6, maybe in phase 7 of like the MCU, but like that would be really awesome to see that with the MCU budget and treatment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'll be something to look forward to. Andrew, how about you?
I'm gonna jump on board the X-Men Express here. I too am eager that goes. Specifically, a character that I'd want to see developed more is Cyclops. They kind of just tossed him in there in the other movies,
Yeah.
whereas like he's a big chunk of it. You know, he had his own storylines that went off and they were huge.
Hmm.
Fights with Apocalypse, you know, the whole Jean Grey Phoenix thing. There's just a lot that could have and should have been done that they just kind of breezed over.
Yeah.
So is a huge character that I'd want to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully do it right this time around.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's also something, yeah, that X-Men getting rebooted by the MCU, something I'm looking forward to. Um, for me, I mean, I know they're starting to remake Blade. I enjoyed the originals with Wesley Snipes. I mean, they were 90s movies. So, what did you come to expect? It's not, today's movie standards. So I'm pretty excited to see those. Um, I wouldn't mind them remaking Howard the Duck either. So
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool if they did that. I mean, they've already put him in the Guardians movies
yeah,
at that little teaser at the end of one of those. So he's around. It's just a matter of, you know,
yeah.
I don't know if his rights are owned by a different production company or not. I don't know the specifics on that one.
Technically, he's been in two. He was in Endgame like really, really briefly.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Um, so yeah, let's shift into Chuck's trivia. So this is part of the show. I'll ask a trivia question to the guests here, and everyone listening at home can also play along. You don't have to give me answers right now. Um, it's just something at the end of the episode. We'll circle back to it. Excuse me. But today's question is, what was the very first Marvel movie? Not MCU, but the very first Marvel movie in general. And you will get a bonus point if you can also tell me the year that it happened. So, something to think about as we go along here. We're going to shift into the next topic, which is the current state of Marvel. The upcoming movies, the TV shows. What has you guys excited about watching Marvel? Because there's a lot of people, well, I can't say a lot, but there's been some people that have jumped off the bandwagon now that, Robert Downey Jr. is gone, Chris Evans is gone, Scarlett Johansson is gone. A lot of these core players that started up this MCU franchise, they're out. But what do you excuse me, what do you guys think? What are you excited for right now? Any of the upcoming projects that Marvel has cooking?
I mean, like as far as the current state of it, they're kind of half and half. It's half rebuilding, but it's also maintaining our current characters that we knew from the Avengers.
Mhm.
There's like Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes, Ant-Man's still going, just kind of continuing their storylines, but we're building up characters around them. Kind of like the second Black Panther, they had a whole string of new characters in there. The Ironheart character was pretty cool, and I
Mhm.
believe TV series sometime soonish on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken. But that'll be a really cool series. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Iron Man tie-ins there. Um, and they're just kind of building the world all together. Like right now, it's building around Kang,
Mhm.
be the big bad. I am kind of eager to see if the current actor is still the actor with all of his legal troubles at the moment,
Yeah.
but it sounds like still is currently. So
Yeah.
um, He's really good. Have you guys both seen the Ant-Man movie, the newest one?
No,
Yeah.
no spoilers. It comes out
Well,
on Disney Plus soon, so then I'll watch it. So
So good.
it is really good. It sets the pace for what's to come. You get like a preview of seeing Kang like go all out. He has his brief fighting moments, and it just kind of blows your mind there, and you gotta kind of thinking ahead, like how are we going to build up all these new characters for that kind of a level of bad guy?
Mhm.
But like I said, they're in a rebuilding mode, but it's just kind of teasing stuff for the future, and it looks really good. I mean, they've still got a ways to go with all the TV series coming out. Secret Invasion, I think, is coming out in like a couple months.
Yeah.
Good. I'm not sure when the new Loki season's coming out. They kind of pushed it back once or twice, and it's somewhere in there though. Echo, that's coming out.
Mhm.
And then I think at the end of the year, there's supposed to be Agatha, the
Mhm.
Coven of
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
And I would assume that's where they tie in like the Scarlet Witch's return. I'd assume she's not gone, but that
Yeah.
would make it back there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's just setting everything up. Thunderbolts next year that'll introduce a whole string of characters, and
Mhm.
it's good. It's people are jumping off right now because they're rebuilding. It's not quite as action packed at the moment. It's a lot of character development and just introducing new characters that they don't know, lesser known characters.
Right. Right.
It's characters that you just kind of heard of briefly in the comics, but it's cool to see where their character development goes and how they tie in with the rest of it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's like a ton of laying the groundwork for Thunderbolts and like the Winter Soldier, like the TV series,
Mhm.
like Falcon Winter Soldier, that's what it is. Like there was so much groundwork there, like the Baroness showing up, like there's so much like deep comic stuff that they're gonna be able to pull from. And I'm excited to see like a true crack at Marvel at anti-hero, right? Like it's all been like the Fox properties, right? Like Deadpool has been like the only real thing. Like Guardians is kind of in the realm, but like just to see some darker edge from Marvel would be good. Not like DC dark because that hasn't worked, but like just a little bit of a darker tone would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, yeah. Yeah. The Secret Invasion. I'm looking forward to that one. Um, there's be a new Captain America movie out next year sometime. So I'm pretty excited to watch that one as well.
It sounds like it's gonna be
Um,
big.
yeah, yeah. The Deadpool 3 will be out next year. Really looking forward to that one. Seeing, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in the MCU, getting those characters over. And so yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. So if you jumped off the Marvel train, telling you right now, you better get back on. So um yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, the Jonathan Majors thing, hopefully, we'll see what happens. If he gets that figured out, and if he stays great, I think he has done a great job so far with the Kang character. Um,
The Ant-Man, it gets better.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if he's out. I'm sure Marvel will get somebody that's just as good in. So all
Now's
right.
like now's like the right phase though if they're gonna recast him, like all the multiverse stuff going on, like they can just say, "Oh, there's another Kang,
Yeah.
surprise!" Like,
It'd be an easy fix.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So, okay, next topic here. Who is your favorite Marvel superhero? This is comics, shows, movies, whatever you want. Who is your favorite? Josh, we'll start with you on this one.
mine changes all the time. So this probably isn't a fair question, but
What a
I'm
bandwagoner.
yeah, yeah, for sure. No, like mine's still probably Black Panther. The comics specifically, like the movies are great, like and that really like set up my fandom, but like just digging in deep in the history and the comics, like, and the Ta-Nehisi Coates run on Black Panther is like top notch Marvel Comics. Well, any Ta-Nehisi Coates, like his Captain America run's really awesome too, but like his run on Black Panther is something special. And if you haven't read it, you definitely should.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Andrew, how about for you? Who's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Growing up, it was a lot of X-Men stuff. I was always a Wolverine fan. I've always been a fan of like characters that aren't overly powerful, whereas
Mhm.
Wolverine killing factor and he had his claws.
All right.
I was a Captain America fan, still am. But you know, he just has his super soldier serum, so he has heightened abilities, but he's not overly powered. You know, he gets he gets beat up quite a bit. You know, but
Yeah.
it just makes him more realistic, more realistic characters, I guess. You know, whereas DC had like Superman, and he was pretty much impervious to everything. You know, except for the green crystals,
Mhm.
the kryptonite.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like the characters that aren't overly powered. It just kind of develops them better, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was sticking with the X-Men, I was a Cyclops fan and a Gambit fan on that front. I don't know. I've always liked Spider-Man. He's always been one of my favorites. Um, so yeah, and echoing on Josh's, I mean, yeah, it changes all the time. You see a movie, you're like, oh man, this is awesome. It's my favorite superhero. So it changes, or you read a good comic and it changes too. So
Who's current favorite, if you had to choose one? Like maybe
um
he's just saying like MCU-ish, just what's out there now.
I would say Moon Knight right
Okay.
now. I'm a big Moon Knight fan. So
Josh.
excuse me.
Oh, like I've read some Spider-Man recently, some Miles Morales Spider-Man, and it's really
Hmm.
just a shame they didn't drop a cameo of him like in the last Spider-Man movie. Like there was potential, and I was holding that hope till the end, even though when they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like the three Spider-Man. It's like, well, where's the fourth one? Well, especially like on the heels of like the animated movie, and that sequel is coming out this year too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it comes
like,
Yes.
soonish, like in the next couple months, 2-3 months, I think.
yeah, we took my girlfriend's nephew to the first one, and he like went in a deep dive and like has a ton of like Miles Morales stuff, so he's like really big into that. So
Sure.
That's awesome.
hip for the kids.
All right. So, before we jump into one of our last topics of the day, we're going to take a short break. All right, and we are back. So, we're going to head into the last couple topics here. What previous Marvel MCU character has the best chance to return? So, do you think it'd be something along the lines of Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, anyone else who's been killed off, Josh Brolin's Thanos? Um, what do you guys think uh, would have the best potential to come back?
I mean, I think I feel pretty strongly that Chris Evans will be back in some fashion. There's a lot of story they could do with him, whether it's just what happened with the Stones, what happened during that time period. In Ant-Man, without giving away the story, there's a line that Kang says that he'd seen past Avengers, and he asked if it was the one with the hammer. Well, the last time we saw Captain America in his prime, he was going back in time with his hammer,
Hmm.
and kind of the connection that they cross paths at some point. We'll see if that actually is a thing or not, but that was just the first thing that popped into my head. So yeah, I think Chris Evans is probably the most likely to return. Um, I don't think I could see Black Widow coming back. Uh, Maybe Robert Downey Jr. If they tied it in somehow with like Kang and he came back for the one-off time. Um, but yeah, as far as like the original Avengers, I think that would probably be the one to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll do some RDJ tie-in, right, with when Ironheart comes out, since they're so closely related, like in the comics.
Right.
I know he said he's been done, but even like some sort of like flashback cameo, I could see happening pretty easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, I don't know. Like I
Yeah,
feel like there'll be there'll be a handful of cameos just because like Kang deals with time and stuff like that. So I'm sure older people will pop up, but as far as which ones, who knows? But I think they could see Thanos again. I feel like what would make Kang look even more like a badass and him crossing paths with Thanos and possibly killing him.
Hmm.
So I think that's a big possibility.
I
Yeah.
Um,
think you're right though. I don't think we see ScarJo again. Like the whole public feud that she had with Disney after the movie came out, like I don't think she's gonna step foot on a Marvel set.
yeah, no, they kind of tied her character off, so I think it's probably done there. But
Yeah. 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 I don't know. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I could see Chris Evans coming back, but I don't know. Yeah. Also Robert Downey Jr. Uh he's Iron Man. I mean, been around one of the longest tenured ones. So
right,
I'm thinking maybe he's got one more in him in one of those Avengers movies. I think we might get a glimpse of him. But yeah, you never know. I mean, you can never say never in the MCU. You never know
right.
who's going to pop up. So
I'm eager to see how they tie in Deadpool.
yeah.
Um, his transition over to the MCU. I'd assume the third one will deal with time since they're bringing back Wolverine.
Mhm.
So maybe that's how he transitions over to the MCU is through time and the realities and stuff like that. So
Yeah. We're I'm pretty excited to see all that go down. So um let's throw a couple little bonus questions in here, bonus topics. Um, when you guys, after watching a lot of the Marvel movies, because there's a lot of characters that, I'm sorry, not characters, but people and actors in general who have gotten a big break in Marvel. So when you watch them in these MCU movies, and then you watch them in a different movie, do you still think of them as like a superhero, kind of in a way, or where do you guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I mean that's always going to be like the first thing you think of if that's because Marvel does tie in a lot of newer actors with the established actors. So I mean, like the kid that plays on Falcon and the Winter Soldier that's playing Torres, who will probably be the new Falcon, I'd assume.
Hmm.
Um, he when I saw him on oh the new Top Gun movie, that's the first thing I thought of was he was on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I don't necessarily think of them as heroes, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind is that's where I know that kid.
Yeah.
He was in a movie, but yeah,
Even when I watch old stuff, like I rewatched Lost a few years ago, and I couldn't divorce like Evangeline Lilly from being Wasp.
Hmm.
Like it's hard. I saw her in a Comic Con panel and she talked nothing about Marvel and like avoided every question because it was last year, and the movie was like just got out of production, and she's
Hmm.
like, no Marvel questions.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always so different. So what was it? Chris Evans in or not Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth in the Men in Black movie, where he remember he has the little hammer in one of those scenes, and it's the first thing you think of is Thor. Um, so yeah, it's always I always find that kind of comical. And so I just watched the movie Ghosted on Apple TV, and it stars Chris Evans in it. And there's several cameos of some other MCU people. Anthony Mackie is in there. Sebastian Stan is in there. So you see them and you think, oh, there's Sam and Bucky with Captain America. So, and then near the end, there's a Ryan Reynolds cameo. So you think Deadpool. So I always find it pretty cool. It's comical to me, stuff like that. That first thought that pops in your head is like, you don't think of the actor or that character that they're playing. You think of the MCU person, like, oh, there's Thor or those Captain America, stuff like that. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. What was Free Guy when they had the big fight scene at the
oh yeah,
end?
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Evans is cussed afterwards.
yeah,
That's
yeah. That was a good spot. So, um, last question here. Last topic. Sorry. Marvel or DC? You don't have to go into detail on it, but your personal preference. It doesn't have to be based on the movies. They can be based on the comics, TV shows. Um, what do you guys think, Marvel or DC?
I mean, it's not even close for me. It's Marvel. It's like not a long shot. I think Andrew mentioned this earlier, but like the characters for me have always been like way more grounded in reality and like day-to-day struggles, whereas like DC for me, like I know there's been some like continuity reboots, and I've read some like recent stuff, but they never really got out of the Silver Age. Is like these are like just heroes being heroes, and like that's all you need to think of them as. And like Marvel really like in the 70s and 80s really added that dimension of character building that of like making them grounded in a real world, and they've just continued to do that ever since. And I think DC is like getting there, but they're still lagging behind. They're just like a few steps behind in that area.
I'm eager to see what James for the DC universe now that he's running it. Have you seen Peacemaker?
Mm-hmm.
They're That was pretty good. I liked it. It had the James Gunn stamp, the dance, the music. He always has really good songs tied in. There's always some kind of a dance routine in it. Um, but he has pretty good work. The Guardians, obviously. This third one looks like it's gonna be pretty amazing. Reviews are already pretty high up there.
Yeah.
So I think I believe they said he's going to be in charge of the new Superman movie, so that should be interesting. Um, I'm I don't want to question him, but I'm eager to see how the James Gunn formula ties in with Superman. I don't see Superman singing and dancing, but we'll see. It could be cool.
Yeah, you never know.
I think it's all uphill from here for DC. And it didn't really matter who was in charge. It's hard to get not like that the movies were like poor production quality, but like I don't know, I saw Black Adam, and like the like in the Superman cameo at the end was like it seems like every movie they make they're just trying to shoehorn like the Marvel process and like get from step A to step Z in like one movie.
Right.
And Marvel's really been the slow burn.
The new Flash movie looks like it's getting pretty good reviews so far. It's been talked about pretty highly, so I'm eager to see how that goes. Or if they'll
Tempted to
even
go see that.
with
Yeah.
the new universe coming in with James Gunn. But I'd assume, since it's the Flash, you can switch realities, and maybe that's how he'll tie into the new universe if they keep him there. But yeah, it looks good. It sounds like it's getting talked up pretty good, so I'm eager to see that movie. And all the old Batmans are in it, it sounds like.
Yeah. Michael Keaton. So yeah, DC is on the up and up. I don't know, I've always been a Batman fan. So, reading the comic books growing up, stuff like that. So, but yeah, as far as a Marvel versus DC head to head, yeah, like right now I lean a little more towards Marvel because I've read more of those comics. But you know, Superman's pretty iconic. When you think of superheroes in general, one of the first ones that people think of is Superman. So they do have that going for them. But yeah, we'll see where their movies are headed, and Mr. James Gunn, and we wish him nothing but luck with it all, and thank him for the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can do the same with DC that he did over at the MCU and take him to new heights. So, all right. So let's get into this trivia answer. What was the very first Marvel movie? And a bonus point if you know the year. Any guesses?
I don't know. I had to guess maybe like the original Captain America movie where he had like the goofy helmet and goggles and stuff like that. But I don't know the year, but just a guess.
Okay, Josh.
I swear there was like a Fantastic Four movie that got made in the 60s that was really like atrociously bad. But I don't know if that's the first one. I know there's like a super old Hulk movie too, I'm pretty sure. And like maybe that's around the same time frame, but I know it's like in the 60s.
All right. Final answers are in. Drum roll. The very first Marvel movie was Captain America in 1944 by Republic Pictures. And it was a serial movie. So it was they showed it on TV, but it played out more like like what we would call a TV series nowadays. So they just air it in separate parts, accumulating into a movie. I found that pretty crazy. That's as far back as those go. And yeah, Josh, there was quite a few in the 60s. There's another Captain America. Yeah, I think I saw Fantastic Four and the Hulk ones in there, and there's a lot of older stuff out there. So Marvel movies have been around for a long time, not the MCU as it is today, but just in general, the superheroes being on the TV. So, all right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Chuck's Potpourri. Thank you guys so much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it. Do you guys have anything last minute to add?
I think that we should get our friend Vito on here next time. Yes.
We can only publicly shame him so much.
Vito, we know you listen to this podcast. We need you on the show. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, remind all our viewers, the video portion of this is on YouTube. Audio listeners, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next one. See ya.